Good morning. My name is Clarence Cuthpert Jr., and I am here today to speak with the students of Hills Academy. I am a candidate for Superior Court Judge here in Rockdale County, and I'm going to discuss with the students this morning the voting process, what the requirements are to serve as a Superior Court Judge, and why I am the best candidate for that position. Looking forward to speaking to these young men this morning just to educate them more about the voting in the political process. And I'm happy to be here at Hills Academy this morning.
The judge practiced law throughout the state of Georgia for 20 years. There's a lot of work involved in being where he's at. And today he's taken the time to come speak to you guys for a moment. And all he asks is that you give him your undivided attention and be respectful. What I'm going to ask you right now is to help me welcome the judge to the podium. Let me hear it, guys.
All right, good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all today? Good. You enjoying your dress down day? Well, that's great. That's great. My name is Clarence Cuthpert Jr., and I am here this morning to speak with you. I am a candidate for the Superior Court Judge of Rockdale County to become the first African American to ever serve as Superior Court Judge in the history of Rockdale County. Prior to being here today, I did practice law throughout the state of Georgia for 20 years. I was in law enforcement prior to practicing law, and I was elected as probate judge of Rockdale County in 2016 and re-elected in 2020. In 2021, the governor appointed me as the state court judge here in Rockdale County, and I was also the first African American to ever serve in that position. And so as I stand before you today, I am actually the former chief state court judge of Rockdale County because as an elected official, the law required me to resign from my position as chief state court judge in order to officially qualify to run for Superior Court Judge. So I am a full-time candidate right now, running for the position of Superior Court Judge. Just wanted to speak with you this morning just a little bit about the election process, the political process, and how it actually works. And so in order to run for a position, we have to go through what's called a qualification process where we fill out the necessary paperwork. We pay a fee that is required and associated with the position that you're running, and those fees vary based on the position that you're running for. And so I was able to take care of that on March the 4th, and I'm now fully concentrated on running for Superior Court Judge. Superior Court Judge, Superior Court itself handles criminal cases, and those are the felony cases. The most serious criminal offenses are handled in Superior Court. Also handles civil lawsuits and actions that people file against one another for money damages or damages in what's called equity, where there's no law that necessarily dictates how the situation would be handled, but the court renders a decision that's considered fair and equitable. And then there's also family law, where we handle child custody cases, adoptions, divorces, child support cases, and things of that nature. I have experience in each of these areas. Having been in law enforcement, I understand what's required for a police officer or law enforcement officer to actually make an arrest legally, what steps they must follow, the elements of the crime that they've charged an individual with, and if in fact all of these were done according to the requirements. As a Superior Court judge, you'll have many attorneys, defense attorneys, who's representing the person that's charged, and they will file different actions trying to get the charges dismissed and what have you, saying that the arrest was not proper. And so it's important that the judge understands the requirements in order to charge someone criminally. In regards to evidence, I also understand the rules of evidence and the requirements that the district attorney's office must satisfy in order to officially prosecute this individual for a particular crime, and whether or not they meet that threshold. And then on the, in regards to understanding, I presided as the chief state court judge over criminal trials, over hearings for arraignments, for arrest warrants and search warrants. And so understanding each aspect of what is required to actually charge an individual with an offense and prosecute that offense is very important for a Superior Court judge. I have handled all of these issues in state court and is prepared to move on to Superior Court and handle them at a higher level. In regards to civil lawsuits, if you want to sue someone for money, you can file that lawsuit the same way you file it in state court, which is the court that I'm coming from. You can file it in Superior Court. It's totally your choice. It doesn't matter whether the lawsuit is for $100 or $1 million. You can either file it in state court or you can file it in Superior Court. Many parties and attorneys choose to file their lawsuits in state court because state court does not handle family law cases, and therefore the lawsuit would move quicker through state court because it does not get bogged down, or so to speak, behind the family law cases, which tend to take longer to resolve. And so, again, if you want to sue someone for money, there's no difference in the court that I'm coming from, the state court or the Superior Court. It's totally your choice which court that you want to file that lawsuit in. And then when it comes to family law, again, that involves adoptions, divorces, child support cases, child custody cases. Even if you want to change your name, that's done in Superior Court. And I've handled each of these issues as an attorney over the time of my practice. I practiced in federal, state, and local court throughout the state of Georgia, and so I'm well apprised of the requirements of these courts and what's expected of not only the attorneys, but also of the judge. And so, excuse me, I'm going to stop right there and ask if you all have any questions of me. I don't just want to keep talking if you all have questions. Yes, sir.
What does it take to run a campaign?
That's a very good question. And it takes a lot. It takes funds, it takes money. It takes a lot of time. We have to make a lot of appearances. We have to, as I said earlier, officially qualify for most of the positions, such as commissioner, commission chair, clerk of court. They actually go to the elections office here in Rockdale County to qualify. But for my position, I have to go to the Capitol and qualify through the Secretary of State's office. And then there's a fee that's associated with it as well, and the fee depends on the salary that goes along with the position. So I think for like school board, the qualifying fee may be like a couple of $100, but as you move up, it can go into the thousands of dollars. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What degree? I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I have a master's degree in public administration, and then I have my law degree. Now, if you're interested in going to law school, you do not have to have a master's degree. You just have to have a bachelor's, and then you proceed to law school. I just chose to get a master's while I decided exactly what I wanted to do. So, yes.
Yeah.
What are the, what was one of the toughest cases you dealt with?
Toughest case. The one that comes to mind is I actually had an individual who, and this may be good for you all to hear. I had an individual who, the two were friends. They were actually roommates. One gave the other the password to her private page on social media. They fell out, they were no longer friends, and the person who had the password to the other person's private site went into that page and released some very intimate and graphic information on the internet. And so that the person who released that information was actually prosecuted for that crime, and because there is jail time associated with that particular crime, I had to sentence her to jail.
Wow.
Like, what are the most common types of cases you deal with?
In state court, the most common type were family violence, a lot of DUI cases, and I did preside over the DUI accountability court. So if we can determine that a person has been charged with at least two DUI offenses over a period of time, and they're willing to admit that they have a problem, we have what's called the DUI accountability court. And they go into that court, they're given some very strict conditions that they have to satisfy over a 18 to 24 month period. It involves counseling, it involves surveillance officers stopping by your house to for you to give a urine sample. It involves you stopping by the lab to give urine samples on demand. It involves you taking counseling, both group and individual if required, and there are various other things. If the person satisfies all of those conditions, then they will graduate from the DUI court, and we're able to help them get their license back and things of that nature. And so family violence, DUI cases, theft cases, I've actually presided over trials for a medical malpractice case where someone actually died as a result of negligence of a physician. And it's very varying, and that's why the transition from state court to superior court is very minimal, because the only real difference is the sentencing. Felony sentences are more severe than misdemeanor sentences. Okay. DUI means driving under the influence, and that can be of alcohol or drugs, any type of substance. And just to let you all know, if you're under the age of 21 and you're convicted of driving under the influence, your sentence is going to be much more severe than it is for an older individual. Also, if you're driving at least 24 miles an hour over the speed limit, your license will automatically be suspended. Now, many young people that come before me in court, they have no idea of this. They're traveling 95 in a 70. Your license is going to be suspended. And so you need to understand that. Yes, sir. I can't hear you.
Have you ever dealt with a murder case?
Murder case? No, not in state court, but that would be a case that Superior Court would hear. If I'm elected as the Superior Court judge, I would deal with murder cases. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stand up when you ask a question, sir, and project.
I still in need.
What?
Have you ever dealt with vehicular manslaughter?
Manslaughter? Yes, I have. Actually, I've had two cases of vehicular manslaughter. Yes.
This is the level time we have, guys. Go ahead, Mason. Case 27. Okay. Arson.
No, I've never dealt with an arson case to date. No.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and give it up for All right, so I know.
My name is Rigo Wade, and this is Courtney Powell. Today, we were we were given a speech by Mr. Clarence. He's a judge of the state court, and he got his master's degree from Savannah State, and he's currently running to be in the Supreme Court. Do you know? What do you know?
And so basically, he was just talking to us about how the difference between the state court and the superior court, and how his road to get to where he is now, and how he's still striving for more and still reaching for excellence. And basically, one of the things I loved is how, even though you think that just court is court and the judge is over everything, but I loved how he showed us the differences between the state court and the superior court, the type of cases they would take, and the type of cases he would take, and that's one of the things I liked. It was a great learning experience for me.
All right, cool.